Hello everybody, my name is Magnetic Isaac and today I'm going to share with you a tutorial on how to build a house in Exploration Light that doesn't take too much time and turns out pretty cool. So let's just go ahead and get to it. So what I like to do before I get started is I like to go to Menu, Options, and turn on Flying. And so whenever you turn on flying, you're actually able to fly around just like the button says. And the way you do that, if you don't know, is you hold the space button or the jump button on the bottom right hand corner, and then you can press up, down, right, or left, and you kind of go in those directions. And if you let go of it and you press forward or back, you just walk in the way that you want to go. And it's really useful for getting around and finding places that you can't get to otherwise, and gives you a lot more flexibility in where you can, build a house. So I typically like to find cliff ledges to build my houses on. So let's go ahead and find one. You know what? I kind of like the way that waterfall looks right there. So what I'm going to do is come down here and I'm going to build on top of this cliff ledge that has a waterfall down here. So the way I'm going to do that, instead of clearing out a bunch of area here, which isn't really too bad, I'm going to go ahead and add blocks to the cliff ledge to build our own platform to build the house on. So go to Menu, hit that grass block, and you can just build off of there. Now I will say, guys, I'm going to fast forward through all the boring stuff. That way you can still see what's going on, but you don't have to watch all the repetitive block placing and everything like that. So here we go. Okay, so now that we have our ledge done, you can see that I made it pretty big. I usually like to make it bigger than I need to. That way, if I want, I can always clean it up later. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the floor of the house. So I typically like to use a light colored wood, but this time I'm gonna go with a medium colored wood. And let's see, I'm gonna build it about right here. Now, depending on your cliff ledge and how big you made your platform, you can make the house as big or as small as you want. I'm gonna make a smaller house just because it's quicker and you know, it's easier for you guys to make. Okay, so after you've built the floor, you're going to want to build 4 pillars on each corner of the house that are about 4 high. And you do that on each corner. And then after you're done, you're going to want to fill in the top of the ledges. Okay, so now after you've done that, you're going to want to fill in the roof. Alright, what I like to do now is I like to take an edge or put an extra layer of blocks around the edge. And it'll make a little more sense in a second. It kind of gives it a really cool look. Okay, so you can see now that it's done. It kind of looks pretty neat, but something seems missing. So what I like to do now is the corner that seems to be pointing towards the best viewpoint. So right now it seems to be kind of right in this general area. You see and you look down here and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool, but if you look back here, it doesn't look as good. But so what I like to do is I like to build a balcony around the edges. So I go 3 out and I stop before the first pillar of the house and I just kind of circle around with it. So it's 3 out on the other side as well. And as you see here, I'm stopping on this side as well. Let's go ahead and start filling in the wall. Now, because this is kind of the natural or the viewpoint, the scenic view of this house and this cliff, we don't want to block that in with too much wall. We still want to be able to see outside of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this wall instead. We're going to leave a little bit of a space for the front door. That's where our front door is going to be. Okay, so now that we have that, we are actually gonna build, let's see, we're gonna need a front door or a back door to get out onto the balcony because we don't wanna just have an open wall. So we're gonna put it right here. So when we come out, we kind of walk around and we're like, okay, this is really cool. And then we can go back in the house and go from there. So right where the front door is, we're gonna kind of go through and it's gonna be right here as well. So we still have a nice view. Lots of natural light coming in. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put in a window here as well. Let's see, do we want a window in this front door? You know, we'll see how it looks. So let's go now and go to the glass block. There we go. So now let's add in the doors. All right, so now that we have our house interior done, I'm gonna leave this open so you can kind of decorate it how you want, but I like to leave it kind of open. And now that we have the doors done, I'm gonna go ahead and put kind of a fence around. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna make this front path now. So you can see it's kind of empty. It doesn't look too good. So what I like to do is I like to fill it in with some cobblestone. So it's this block right here. You can do it whatever you want, but I like to do that and give it kind of a little sidewalk look to it. I like to usually make it a little bit wider than the door on each side. Alright, so now that we have that done, next we're going to add the lighting, because if you come out here and you look at the cliff edge, it's like, alright, well that looks pretty good, not too bad, but it really needs a touch of light, especially at night is whenever you notice it. So typically, people generally put torches on the outsides of the house, which actually look pretty good. I like the color of the light it puts off, and it really gives it a little bit of a, I don't know, the torches give it a little bit of a pop, if that makes sense. And if you put them on the front of the house, that looks pretty good. Not too bad. But what I typically like to do is I'm going to remove these torches. You can leave them if you like. And I'm going to show you the other light if you're not aware of it. Basically, if you go back to the screen where the doors were, this one right here, if you look to the right of the top door piece, you're going to see this little white dot. And if you click that, that happens to actually be a light. And so what I usually do is I come to the front of the house and I say, all right, well that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna put one light here in front of that window and one here. So it kind of illuminates the front of the house. That looks good. I'll put one in the center of the house. That's almost pretty much it. And we'll come back out here and we'll look and we'll say, all right, well where does more light need to be? And it looks like there could be a little more light out here on the front, so I'm going to put one on the other side of this door, right up here. So it lights up everything. But then it kind of looks a little off because there's one little white dot there and not one over here. So we'll put one there. And that kind of looks good. I mean, if you want, you can add more. Some people like to add them on the corners. And there we go. That looks pretty good. All right, so now that we have that done, that's almost it. I'm gonna turn off the flying by going back in the menu, hitting the options button, and then coming back to here where it says walking and click that. And so now I'm gonna fall, and I can say, all right, well, let me walk in my house. I'm gonna close the doors first, kind of give it a cooler effect. All right, so now we have our front little pathway. Probably use some plants, but I'll leave that up to you. And got our nice view. We come in, open the door. All right, it's a little empty, but not too bad. Come back out here. Oh man, this is pretty good. I like this. I wish we could close these fences off, but I'm not aware of a way of how to do that. If you know, let me know in the comments. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So now, to me, it looks like it could use a little bit of plants in the front. So I'm gonna add, let's see how this looks. That just looks like grass, right? Does that look like bushes to you guys? It just kind of looks like grass to me. So I'm gonna go see if they have any bushes. I think, yeah, there we go. Add some right there. Add some around this corner. Oh! Forgot that I turned off flying. Alright, so there we go. That looks pretty good. I like that. Especially if we come over from this side. You know, got a nice front yard. Not too bad. That didn't take too much time. And it looks good at night. You know, got the moon out. And also, another quick tip, if you don't know this, you can go to menu, go to options, go to game, and you can control the time. And so I usually put it around 9 o'clock in the morning, and there we go. Look at that. Cool. And there we go. Alright guys, so that concludes our tutorial on how to build a house in Exploration Light. Now in my opinion, it actually didn't turn out too bad. We have some really green bushes out front, a great front yard, some really good lighting. You go inside the house, yeah, it's a little small, but you know, it didn't take too long to build, and these glass walls really open up the space in here. If we go outside, we have a great balcony, good view of our surroundings, and if you fly out here to the edge, we have a cool waterfall underneath us, and looks great from out here, so you could take some really good screenshots. But yeah, if you happen to like the video, let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions or you want to see anything else, definitely let me know down there. If you really liked it and want to see more from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully I will see you next video. But until then, take it easy, guys.